August is dedicated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. You can pray the devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, or pray the akathist, or any of the other prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary, for plenary and partial indulgences. On 1st of August, it is the Memorial of St. Peter in Chains. You can make the first Saturday's devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, for plenary and partial indulgences. You can make an examination of conscience and an act of contrition for partial indulgences. You can also make a confession reconciliation. It is Lammas Day in the Northern Hemisphere. Priests can make a blessing of a granary and or the harvest. From midday the 1st of August until the end of the 2nd of August, you can gain the Portiuncula indulgence. Portiuncula is on the 2nd of August, but the plenary indulgence is available from midday the day before. If you visit a church, cathedral, or minor basilica and recite there the Our Father and the Creed, you can gain a plenary indulgence. On Wednesday the 5th of August, abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular. Fasting and abstinence can gain partial indulgences. On Thursday the 6th of August, it is the feast of the Transfiguration of the Lord. You can pray the rosary in a group or in a church, praying the Luminous Mystery and the litany for plenary and partial indulgences. Also on the 6th of August, you can make an examination of conscience and an act of contrition in preparation for the First Friday's devotion to the Most Sacred Heart for partial indulgences. Priests can make a blessing of grapes. From the 6th to the 14th of August, you can pray the Our Lady of the Assumption Novena for partial indulgences. On the 7th of August, you can make the First Friday's devotion to the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus for plenary and partial indulgences. Abstinence is required on Fridays. You can gain a partial indulgence for abstinence. On Saturday the 8th of August, you can say prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary, for example the Rosary, in a group or in a church for plenary and partial indulgences. Abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular. Abstinence can gain a partial indulgence. On Wednesday the 12th of August, abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular, and you can gain a partial indulgence. On Friday the 14th of August, abstinence is required. Abstinence gains a partial indulgence. On Saturday the 15th of August, it is the Solemnity of the Assumption of Mary. Visit a church consecrated to Mary, and there pray the Our Father and the Creed for a plenary indulgence. You can pray the Rosary in a church, in a family, or in an association for a plenary indulgence. You can pray the Litany and the Little Office for partial indulgences. Priests can make a blessing of harvest foods. On Wednesday the 19th of August, abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular. Abstinence can gain a partial indulgence. On Friday the 21st of August, abstinence is required. On Saturday the 22nd of August, you can make an examination of conscience and an act of contrition for partial indulgences. You can say prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary. For example, by praying the Rosary in a family or in a church, you can gain a plenary indulgence. On Saturdays, abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular, and abstinence can gain a partial indulgence. On Wednesday the 26th of August, abstinence is required for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular. On Friday the 28th of August, abstinence is required. On Saturday the 29th of August, you can make an examination of conscience and an act of contrition for partial indulgences. You can make your confession and reconciliation for the following First Friday and Saturday of the month. You can also say prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary. For example, you can gain a plenary indulgence for praying the Rosary in a family or in a church. Abstinence is required on Saturdays for the Sabbatine Privilege of the brown scapular. You can gain a partial indulgence for fasting or abstinence.